All right.
Thank you.
So today we're going to be looking at functions and being able to tell if they make a linear or a straight line or not. So they're going to give you some equations. Let's go with 3 of them. And they may ask you, does this equation or function make a linear? How can we tell? Does anybody have any ideas? Lizzie, what do you think?
I'd say if it's like a repeating pattern, like over and over again, the same thing, that's how you know.
What do you mean?
Pretty much all of the motions.
Well, none of these turn out to be a proportion. So how can we tell? Wouldn't it be nice if we could look at the graph? And the graph's either going to be a straight line or not. All right, pick up your calculator. You can use the calculator and take a look at the graph. All right, top left button on your calculator. The very top left says y equals, hit it. You can type in equations right there and take a look at the graph. So on the very first line, go to y equals, type in 2 minus 4x. Does everybody know where the x button is? It's right next to the green. So type it in. Once you've got it typed in, hit the top right button, that says graph. The calculator will immediately graph it, and you can be able to tell if it's a straight line or not. Lily, what do you think? Do y'all agree with Lily that it is a straight line?
Yes.
I do too. Now, so that's one option you have on the homework, but I'll give you a clue. Do you notice that y has a power of 1?
Yeah.
X also has a power of 1? Put a little note in your notes. If X and Y both have a power of 1, it will be linear. Put that in your notes. Put a star by it. So, and they're not going to put ones when they write the equation, but if you see x to the power of 1, y to the power of 1, almost all the time, did y'all hear those words? Almost all the time, it's going to be a linear. There are very rare occasions where it's not. All right, let's go to number 2. Type in the second equation, clear the first one. Now, the square button, borrow yours. The square button is on the left side. So once you get ready to type in x squared, you're going to need to go right here and hit the little button that says x2. So type in your x and then hit square. I'll hit it for you, man. See the 2 pop up? There you go. So type in 5 minus 2x squared. Go ahead and hit graph. Does that make a straight line?
No.
No. This one's not linear. This one's what we call quadratic. We're going to learn about quadratics next year in Algebra 1. You're going to spend quite a bit of time on them. But, hold up. What power does x have?
2.
2. And what does the rule say?
It has to be the same.
For it to be linear, x and y both have to have a power of 1. So I could have told you before you ever typed it in, since that's x squared, it is not going to be a linear. Are you with me? All right, go to the third one. Clear out that one, go to this one. Now hold up, let's predict before you type it in. Put your calculators down. What power is x?
1.
What power is y? So what do you think it's going to be? I think the odds are pretty good that it may be linear. Let's type it in and see. Do 1 divided by x plus 1.
No.
Hit enter. And then graph.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Okay. Do y'all agree with Miss Layla? She's like, I don't think that's linear, and I agree. It's got a big curve to it. Are you with me?
It has 2 curves.
So, here's the other note to that rule. X can never be on the bottom of a fraction. So put that. X can't be on the bottom of a fraction. It can be on the top, but not on the bottom. Okay. So put a little side note to that. All right, so this is a big fat no as well. Questions? All right, so that's going to be part of the homework today. They're going to give you some type of equation. You need to determine if it's linear or not. Let's try this one. Now this one you're not going to be able to type into the calculator because your calculator only types in equations that start with y equals. Are you with me? Let's make a prediction. Do y'all think this is going to be linear or do you think it's not?
No.
No.
Why not? Who says no? Somebody tell me why.
Because the x and the y are not the same number. Like they don't have the same.
They don't have to be the same number. They can be different numbers. I can have 3x and 4y. That doesn't offend either of these rules. Is x on the bottom of a fraction?
No.
Okay. Is x what power?
1.
Y?
1. Because it doesn't.
Doesn't it do both of those things?
Yeah.
Aren't we good?
Yeah.
So do you think this is linear or not?
Linear.
It's 100% linear. X has a power of 1, y has a power of 1. X is not on the bottom of a fraction. This is a big fat yes. It will be a straight line. Okay. All right. What about this one? Yeah, what makes it not linear? The x squared. X squared. X cannot have a power of 2. It has to have a power of 1. That's automatic. No. Questions? All right. So that's probably the biggest, most important piece of the lesson today is being able to look at an equation and determine whether it's going to be linear or not a linear. All right, let's take this one. Is it linear?
No.
Nope, I would agree. But what if they wanted me to graph it? I could make a graph of it. So let's do, how can I get the numbers that go in the table so we can then make a graph?
Second, if you go in the calculator and you press second.
Good. Are y'all with her? Don't you have a nice yellow calculator sitting on your desk? So go ahead and type in that equation on y equals. And then Emma said go to second, hit the blue button, and then go graph. Second graph brings up the table. And you can go look at any number you want in the table. So look at the table. What number do you have for negative 2? 2. How about negative 1?
5,
How about 0?
6,
How about 1?
5,
How about 2?
2.
Okay, you will notice that when you do the x squared ones, some of the numbers will repeat. 2, 5, 6, and then the 5 repeats again. The 2 also repeats again. Are you with me? So let's graph this. We need to go to negative 2 on the x. That'd be right here. And go up to 2 on the y. So negative 2, 2 would be right there. Then we need to go to negative 1. Go up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 1, 5 would be there. Then we need to go to 0, 6. Start at 0, go up to 6. Then we need to go to 1 and go up to 5. And then go 2 and go up to 2. And now my graph should look similar to the graph that is on your calculator screen. It makes what we call a horseshoe or a parabola. It has a big fancy name. Parabola.
A what?
Parabola. Yeah, I call it a horseshoe too because it looks like a horseshoe. All right, questions. So today, you may have to make a table, make a graph, and then be able to look at a function or an equation and tell if it is going to be a linear or not.
That's
Any
easy.
questions? All right, we're ready for the homework.